Hey guys, what's up? It's Kyle here, with another Under the Microscope video. I noticed I was going to do an FCW video, a video on FCW and wrestlers. I think from FCW should go to the main roster on in WWE to replace the wrestlers that I think don't belong in WWE, which I made a video on yesterday. But I kind of want to do this first. So another video of Under the Microscope. I'm going to make a playlist for the series so people can keep up with it. So Under the Microscope on this episode or video is going to be on two-time collegiate champion. He's a former world heavyweight champion, and he's the all-American Dax Swagger. Sorry, that's a bad impersonation of the Swag Man, but I like making fun of the way he talks. But anyway, of the way he speaks. Jack Swagger, where do I start here? Well, Jack Swagger was discovered, I don't know if a lot of people know, but Jack Swagger was discovered by Jim Ross. So, and, Jim Ross has a knack for, finding some pretty good talent. He was one of two people to find Brock Lesnar, and, well, Jim Ross found John Cena. So, I guess we have someone to blame for bringing John Boy in the WWE. But anyway, on to the main topic here. Jim Ross brought in Jack Swagger, the All-American American. Jack Swagger started in with ECW. He started with ECW. Took me a while to kind of get into the thing with Jack Swagger. I knew when they put Jack Swagger on the spot, like in his first year in the ECW, which I like to call extremely crappy wrestling, which is the version that WWE has, yeah. But yeah, so when Jack Swagger was there, I think the first year he was in there, that's when they came up with the All-American American gimmick. And I just knew from there, from that gimmick and the whole patriotic thing, that they were trying to create a Kurt Angle version 2.0. Now, I like Jack Swagger. Jack Swagger to me is a terrible on the mic, just god awful. But he can, work on it. Swagger, I think, is a good wrestler. I think Swagger has potential to be one of the better actual wrestlers in the WWE. I just think the problem is that they don't really put Swagger in enough matches. They don't put him in a lot of marquee matches or with people who can actually work and could, push Swagger's skills to the limit. So I think until Swagger reaches that, once Swagger reaches that point, you could put Swagger in the same list as a CM Punk or Daniel Bryan, technical wise, as far as wrestling ability wise. I do think Jack Swagger is a good wrestler. Swagger won Money in the Bank last year, as a matter of fact. Yeah, it was last year. Last year he won Money in the Bank. After that, he became the World Heavyweight Champion. I thought they kind of pushed it. I thought they kind of pushed Swagger a little bit too soon to be World Heavyweight Champion. 5 days after he won the briefcase, but then again, we never really had a quick cash-in like that before, until Kane cashed in his Money in the Bank the same night he won it. But you get what I'm going there. So Swagger becomes World Heavyweight Champion. I was excited. I was happy. When Swagger won the World Heavyweight Championship, I was at my brother's place, and he even got excited. When Swagger cashed in on Jericho and became the world champion, we were like, this is great, because we're both fans of Swagger. And I tell you, that was like just the beginning of the end for Swagger right there, when he cashed in his briefcase and became the world champ. His booking, the booking of Swagger being the champion, was just absolutely just bogus. I mean, I think the only his rivalry with Big Show, awful. I thought his rivalry with Randy was decent for what it was. They had a good match at Extreme Rules. One of his best matches, I still put in high regards as of right now, was one of the matches he had against The Undertaker on Raw when he was the world champion. I thought that was a great match for Swagger, and still put that as one of his best matches of his career so far right now. And from there, he had an obsession with Rey Mysterio. I mean, just terrible bad booking. And then they have him drop the belt to Rey Mysterio, and Rey only had the belt for like a week and a half and dropped it to Kane. But once Swagger lost that belt, Swagger just plummeled straight down to the bottom. They didn't have him stick around in the main event spot. He didn't get the belt back. I mean, just completely, they just booked Swagger just so bogus, I thought. If I was WWE if I was the head writer for SmackDown during the time Swagger was champion, I would have built the SmackDown brand around Jack Swagger as the world champion, and would have kept him in that main event spot picture. Once Swagger lost the world title, Swagger went right back down to mid-card to just bottom of the barrel, And when you look at Swagger's whole run as world champion, it seemed like it was a test for WWE. It's like they wanted to test Jack Swagger to see, like, okay, you know what? We're going to give him the ball. Let's see if he'll roll with it. And, I don't think Swagger really couldn't handle with being a world champion. I mean, like I said, his promos are awful, blood awful. But, I mean, you still stick behind the guy, even though if he can't really take the ball and run with it, you still kind of stick with him so he could kind of, like, get it and eventually pick up the slack and run. But I don't think WWE gave him enough, that chance. They just kind of, it was like I said, it was like a test with Jack Swagger. Like, oh, let's put the belt on him, see how it looks. He looks good with the belt on, but can't talk with the crap. And so, let's just take the belt off of him and just wrap him up and press the restart button all over again. And I just thought it was just completely bogus. And since then, Swagger has just been lost in the shuffle, And I like Jack Swagger, and I do think he has I do think he's a great, talented wrestler. But it's just like, it's just one of those things that WWE does. Like when they get behind the wrestler, they don't stick with them. Jack Swagger, I thought when he had his whole thing with Michael Cole, I'm like, I had mixed emotions about it. I'm like, okay, he's with Michael Cole. It's kind of stupid, but it's a good spot for him because it puts him somewhat in some type of limelight because, he's in between with Michael Cole, who got a ton of TV time during this whole WrestleMania build-up, and then he'll get into a spot where he's with Austin and everything else. I'm like, okay, so this could be, a good restart for Swagger. But after that, once again, Swagger just was an afterthought. And they've booked Swagger so wrong as a world champion, and even after he lost the title, they just booked him so badly to the point where now, like, an average person or casual wrestling fan probably will not even remember or have any knowledge of Jack Swagger being a former world heavyweight champion. It's just terrible, Now Sheamus turned face, and a lot of people are starting to get behind Sheamus now since he turned face. Jack Swagger is one wrestler I can think, if I was to turn anybody face within the company, Jack Swagger would be number one, top of my list. I think Jack Swagger will make a much better baby face, and I think it would save Jack Swagger if he becomes a baby face than him being a heel. Because right now, Jack Swagger has not been a great heel. No one's really behind him in terms of not only just the company, but fans, people that aren't behind Swagger. So I think Swagger needs to turn babyface. I don't know why they paired him up with Vicky and Dolph as a tag team when Dolph clearly outshines Swagger in every aspect. He outshines Swagger. So that still does not help Jack whatsoever. It's like they just stuck him in a place because they're like, we don't know what to do with you, so we're just going to just stick you with Ziggler and Vicky and we'll find out something later what to do with you. It's like they just don't know what to do with him. If I was WWE, I would turn Swagger babyface. I think Swagger would make a much better babyface and would come across as being a more likable guy, character, and a person that fans can get behind if Jack Swagger becomes a babyface. This is my under the microscope on Jack Swagger. Let me know what you guys think on Swagger, on the idea of, do you guys think Jack Swagger would make a better babyface? Because I definitely think he would. Comment, subscribe, and like I said, it's Jack Swagger's like 20, 29, or 30, just turned 30, so he still has some good years left ahead of him. So it's not the end of the road for him. I definitely see him being around in WWE for the next couple of years. I definitely think WWE does see potential in Swagger, but they just don't know what to do with Swagger. They don't know what to do with Swagger. So let me know what you guys think about this topic. Comment, subscribe, and like I said, I'm going to make a playlist tomorrow for the series Under the Microscope, so people can keep track of all these episodes that I do on wrestlers. So comment, subscribe. Peace out.